This is how diabetes and inflammation can be eliminated. We will also become specific. Let's talk about food in more detail, because have you ever eaten something that seemed fine but left you feeling nauseous? And you make an effort to explain that eating something makes you feel bad. I'm angry. I'm experiencing mental fog. My joints are a little sore. That is an actual occurrence. Certain meals can definitely cause an inflammatory reaction. Furthermore, an allergic reaction is not required. Contrary to popular belief, you can still have a valid inflammatory response that makes you feel like crap, even if you don't have an allergic reaction or an allergy to a particular food. Additionally, it involves histamines, which many people find even more perplexing, because histamines are only linked to allergies. When you have allergies, you take an antihistamine. Yet because of the histamine cascade in your body, you can occasionally enjoy that chocolate bar without experiencing any negative side effects. Sometimes drinking tea makes you feel good, and other times it makes you feel a little queasy and disoriented. Thus, we'll start with the science in this video. This is crucial, so we'll dissect how it operates. After that, we'll discuss the particular foods you should stay away from at particular times. After that, we'll discuss a tactic you might use to reduce your initial sensitivity to those foods and histamines. Finally, we'll briefly discuss a low-cost supplement that can be added to the mix to improve your body's ability to absorb histamines. By the end of this film, you will have the breakdown and the real science, not some arbitrary fly-by-night video that doesn't make sense. I've included a link to something that can benefit your mitochondria below. The product is called Timeline, and it's quite intriguing. It's a patented product known as M-Pure. Thus, it causes what is known as M-Nerzijo Chakasisho. This is how inflammation can be eliminated. We will also become specific. Let's talk about food in more detail, because have you ever eaten something that seemed fine but left you feeling nauseous? And you make an effort to explain to folks that, I just don't feel good when I eat that. I feel inflamed. I feel brain foggy. My joints kind of hurt. Certain meals can definitely cause an inflammatory reaction. Furthermore, an allergic reaction is not required. Therefore, contrary to popular belief, you can still have a valid inflammatory response that makes you feel like crap, even if you don't have an allergic reaction or an allergy to a particular food. Additionally, it involves histamines, which many people find even more perplexing because histamines are only linked to allergies. When you have allergies, you take an antihistamine, yet occasionally you can still enjoy that chocolate bar because of the histamine cascade in your body. You feel like complete rubbish at other times. Sometimes drinking tea makes you feel good, and other times it makes you feel a little queasy and disoriented. Thus, we'll start with the science in this video. This is crucial, so we'll dissect how it operates. After that, we'll discuss the particular foods you should stay away from at particular times. Afterward, we will discuss a technique that you can use to reduce your sensitivity to those histamines and less initially susceptible to those foods. Finally, we'll briefly discuss a low-cost supplement that can be added to the mix to improve your body's ability to absorb histamines. By the end of this film, you will have the breakdown and the real science, not some arbitrary, fly-by-night video that doesn't make sense. I've included a link to something that can benefit your mitochondria below. The product is called Timeline, and it's quite intriguing. MitoPure is a patented product. Thus, it triggers a process known as mitophagy. Thus, it facilitates the mitochondria's autophagy, which may improve fuel processing and provide you with energy. Isn't it beneficial to the muscles? Longevity and many other bodily metabolic processes depend heavily on the mitochondria. Allowing those mitochondria to undergo their normal recycling process, which involves the breakdown of old mitochondria and their transformation into new ones. That is crucial. It is derived from a substance known as urolithin. That URL can be found below. It appears in the description's first line. We refer to it as timeline longevity. Urolithin is a really fascinating chemical. I heartily suggest it, just beneath this video. Let's pretend for a moment that this is a story. You're in a nice mood. You go and have your typical lunch, but all of a sudden you start to feel confused, strange, and irritated. It's possible that you are holding on to some water. That food is causing an inflammatory reaction in you. Is it your intention to discard the food indefinitely? No, the good news is that this is what takes place within the body. Occasionally, your immune system may become overactive, and it's frequently the result of something called histamine. Thus, you have an immune cell, a mast cell, and these things called granules inside the immune cell. When these granules are suitably stimulated, they open up and release a variety of substances, things we've discussed on this channel that aren't particularly significant at the moment. In addition to releasing prostaglandins, P cytokines also release a substance known as histamine. Additionally, these histamines move to certain parts of the body and perform various functions. Additionally, you may be able to identify some of these emotions. Histamines have the ability to bind to H1 receptors initially when they are released. The skin contains these. They can cause us to feel itchy, crawly, and swollen. They are found in the muscles, and occasionally in our soft tissue in general. Does that sound familiar? Our stomach contains the H2 receptors. Thus, the gut will get these histamines. We may experience gastrointestinal inflammation. We'll experience bloating. We may possibly have some intestinal problems. Histamine will then attach itself to the H3 receptor. The central nervous system has the H3 receptor. Additionally, this may cause you to feel apprehensive and disoriented, as if your mind is racing yet coming to nothing. Does that sound familiar? Perhaps after certain foods when you're feeling dizzy. And lastly, the H4 receptor, bone marrow's H4 receptors. Additionally, when histamines activate this receptor, autoimmune reactions may be triggered, leading to additional inflammatory problems. It's fascinating. If you have Hashimoto's disease or any of these autoimmune diseases, let us know. Because of this, some meals may cause you to feel extremely irritated and drive you into a spiral of inflammatory lunacy. Correct? It's not fiction. It is actually science. The problem is that in most cases, your body can manage these inflammatory cascades. That's the problem. Normally, it functions perfectly, but occasionally, the body is unable to handle certain situations that we aren't always able to identify. Because of this, you can occasionally enjoy a gorgeous caprese salad, and other times you feel awful for no apparent reason. I'll illustrate it for you so it makes some sense. Alright, so histamine is like a glass of water, and you're adding additional histamine to it. Additionally, histamine overflow will occur if you are unable to release the histamine more quickly than it can be filled. You become extremely sensitive to any more histamine that enters your diet when that histamine overflow occurs. So all of a sudden, foods that are normally absolutely normal and wouldn't create any problems start to cause problems. You're irritable, you're brain foggy, and you may even be itching, but you're not experiencing a genuine allergic reaction because you don't have the so-called IG response, which is a typical allergy reaction. You've been waiting patiently to learn about the foods, but we need to know how they contribute to this because we now understand the fundamental science. Therefore, foods high in histamine will be the main cause of an inflammatory reaction. However, you won't think that these dishes are unhealthy when you hear about them. They're not horrible. These foods are healthful and absolutely acceptable. However, they will undoubtedly be a problem in the incorrect situation. And that's where the insanity begins. This is not the demonization of food. This is not an effort to instill terror. This is science for real. Prepared, fermented, and aged foods. Thus, one of the most important things is leftovers. Isn't that crazy? As a result of leftovers, They begin to ferment in their own unique manner and produce more histamines. I'm a major lover of fermented foods, but if they're overdone at the wrong time, we'll talk particularly about when this kind of thing happens, including what lifestyle factors make it more likely to happen. Alcohol, spinach, tomatoes, and salami. These are foods that are completely healthy. We'll go over a longer list in a moment, because a study that was released later in this video actually provides you with a protocol to follow. We will therefore discuss the complete protocol, including what should be eliminated, etc. However, another category exists. A class known as histamine liberators exists. Although these foods don't contain a lot of histamine, they do promote histamine release through a process known as DAO inhibition. I won't delve into the scientific specifics. Now let's talk about the meal. Citrus fruits, seafood, alcohol, sulfites, which are found in many preserved foods, and so on. There, you have to use extreme caution. Lots of dyes and strawberries. Alright, so these won't be intrinsically unhealthy meals. Sulfites, after all, are bad. Although they aren't good, dyes aren't always harmful foods. What they do is cause additional histamine to be released. Thus, they are devoid of histamine. They cause more histamine to be released. What does that do then? That sets off that immunological reaction once more. Tiredness, achiness, puffiness, cognitive fog, and systemic immunological response. Foods that prevent histamine clearance fall into a third category. This mostly includes teas and similar items. It's not as much of an issue. However, once more, you might want to minimize these if you're experiencing a significant inflammatory cascade or immunological response. However, we will discuss the plan there. What about the lifestyle aspects now? For example, what is causing certain meals to be problematic in the first place? It all comes down to an imbalance between the body's capacity to absorb and eliminate histamine. Gut dysfunction is one of the main factors that causes this. Histamine cannot be broken down by DAO when the gut is unhealthy. The beginning is in the gut. Of course, that's something you've heard a million times. You should start by asking yourself, what am I doing for my gut health? Is the probiotic something I take? Am I consuming high-quality dairy products? Am I consuming the proper type of fiber? Am I cutting back on some of the emulsifiers that can cause the intestinal barrier to dissolve? Stress comes next. As strange as it seems, lowering stress and simply grounding yourself are some of the things I've discussed because they significantly lower salivary cortisol levels. So, by doing that, you may instantly relieve tension. Since stress is complicated, and I am aware that reducing stress is more difficult than you might believe, I offer you that as a straightforward action. Alright. Hormonal changes come next. Both sexes, but particularly women. Alright. As they begin to lean more toward estrogen, histamine is increased, and DAO, which metabolizes it, is decreased. Thus, your inflammatory systems have significantly increased. Even one bad night's sleep is one of the largest ones. Have you ever noticed that eating certain meals makes you feel uncomfortable and causes you to become bloated and angry when you don't get enough sleep? It's because you're sleep deprived, which causes your liver detox pathways to malfunction. As a result, histamine cannot be eliminated from the body. It cannot be cleared. As a result, you wind up increasing it steadily. Therefore, eating a food high in histamine triggers an inflammatory reaction. Everyone in this room is probably thinking that the obvious foods, ice cream and junk food, are the ones that cause inflammation. And while those are both acutely and chronically inflammatory, I'm referring to the strange systems that cause inflammation even when you believe you're eating healthily. So, how can we lower the body's histamine load? That 2021 study did a great job of breaking things out. It divided it into a 3-tiered strategy. Thus, 3 distinct tiers will be the subject of our next discussion. Tier 1, If you are truly experiencing problems, then a lot of foods are simply making you feel irritated. As a result, you feel woozy after eating them. These are the meals that you will avoid throughout that time. After that, we'll continue on to Tier 2, which is when you may feel a little uneasy. Tier 3 is similar to things that might or might not have an impact on it. Let's begin with the first tier. And while it may seem like I'm disparaging a number of things, they are actually quite healthy foods. Simply put, take a break from them if you're experiencing severe inflammation. Red wine, white wine, champagne, lemon, orange, grapefruit, strawberries, tuna, salmon, feta cheese, parmesan, Gouda, sardines, mackerel, tomato, spinach, and sauerkraut. These foods were at the top of their Tier 1 list. Guys, this isn't me disparaging food. That's not what I'm doing. The videos are now visible to me. Alright, Thomas says to go for it. This is directly from a peer-reviewed journal discussing the temporary reduction of certain foods if you're experiencing inflammation. Tier 2, on the other hand, may not be as likely to trigger, but they are still noteworthy. Avocado, chocolate, peanuts, cashews, eggs, miso sauce, shrimp, and soy sauce. Although they still contain a lot of histamines, they don't seem to stimulate as much as those in Tier 1. Tier 3. If you're truly struggling, you might want to think about cutting back on milk and legumes such as lentils. Those can occasionally lead to certain problems for people. This is the kind of thing you want to do if you're actually going through a stressful time and your stomach isn't working properly. To see if your symptoms get better, you should avoid those foods on Tier 1 for 6 to 10 days. You can definitely have bio-individual sensitivities to specific foods, so if they do, you start gradually adding these foods that you enjoy to determine which ones give the most problems. But here's the really bad part. A food sensitivity causes your histamine levels to spike. After then, you begin to experience food sensitivity. I sound like a crazy person who is becoming overly fixated. However, it's really simple for someone to tell you to eat anything you want. They don't really address these problems, so you're thinking about all of this. I've been there. I understand how it feels, and I'm sure you have too. Therefore, it could be beneficial for you to be able to cut back on those things and then reintroduce them in this manner with these particular items. I also promised to discuss a basic vitamin that you can take. A supplement known as Demini Oxidase, or DIO, is available. This gives you the extra DIO you need to digest more histamine. Furthermore, studies have shown that consuming a DIO supplement raises the body's DIO levels by 61%. Extremely significant if you are a person coping with these problems. Will that be the first line of defense now? No. In my opinion, you should be aware of the things that your body is sensitive to and use DIO as a last option, rather than just adding a supplement to attempt to solve something, because in the end, you won't be able to figure out what your body is struggling with. When considering inflammation, there are numerous levels at which it might manifest. However, we are all consuming a wide range of meals and receiving a lot of nourishment. It's critical to recognize the differences between them. As usual, I will see you.